Hello, today I will be discussing an emerging technology that is getting a lot of traction in 2019, and that is autonomous or so called self driving vehicles. Like any other technology, the self driving car will take a long time to develop to the point of being in our everyday lives, but we have already seen components of these autonomous vehicles being incorporated in the cars of today. The best example being Tesla's new autopilot feature. A few other examples of this technology include self parking assist, automatic braking, and this technology currently works by having sensors on the front and rear of the car and uses radar to detect where nearby cars are, distance to the curb, and the size of an empty parking space, as in parallel parking situations. The car's powered steering is controlled by the onboard computer system and maneuvered into the space while the speed is controlled by the driver. The world is still at least a decade from the large production of a fully self driving car, and while it may have its downsides, the technology will be immensely beneficial to society once implemented for a few important reasons. Um, but comparing the revolution of autonomous vehicles to the Wright brothers was Hui Peng, an autonomous vehicle researcher from the University of Michigan, who said, the Wright brothers flew short distance, not very high, not very far. It was exciting but not practical. Much like the autonomous driving technology now, it will evolve like airplane technology to fix a lot of the world's problems. The first being lowering gasoline usage and lightening congested traffic. So, by having self driving cars, engineers theorize that accident rates will fall to near zero and will allow cars to eliminate some of the safety equipment that greatly weighs down the cars, and this will cut down their actual fuel consumption. Some of the things that can be removed include anti-lock brakes and extensive airbags. Other fuel-saving measures include fleet driving and pack driving, which reduces wind drag, and drafting techniques, which could be seen in NASCAR races, which also reduce wind drag and cut down on fuel usage. Cars being more efficient in traffic and abiding by traffic laws via computer systems would also lessen city gridlock and enable communities to implement better carpooling systems to reduce the number of cars on the road. While eliminating the current features seems great in theory, there is always an external environment and drivers that are not always paying attention to the road or cannot control a autonomous car. A major hurdle in self-driving technology is a conflict between human drivers and driverless cars. That being that humans are unpredictable and not driving as safely as a computer-controlled car would be. There have already been examples of a human-driven car that has had issues driving alongside self-driving cars, where self-driving cars senses a human driver too late because of an unexpected human decision like speeding or trying to pass, and a driver has to take control, which they were driving the Tesla autopiloted car, so they still have the capability, but that could be a problem in the future if a steering column is removed to decrease the weight of a car. The second and most important positive of having self-driving vehicles in the future is reducing the amount of impaired driving incidents and making cars accessible for everybody. Everybody sees the commercials on TV and the signs on the road warning of impaired, tired, or distracted driving, and the self-driving vehicles would solve all these issues together. The Washington Post reported in 2014 that 3,100 people were killed and over 430,000 people were injured in distracted or driving crashes. This is data just from 1 year, so if you think of the decades of deaths and crashes from impaired and distracted driving alone, that would be immense if those were wiped away by autonomous vehicles. So, comparing that to the current semi-autonomous vehicles that we've had, there's only been one fatality in 140 million miles clocked on Tesla's autopilot system. Even though the autopilot system is mostly autonomous, drivers can still regain control whenever they please to prevent some of the computer errors that might occur. So the potential lives saved is a crucial part of implementing the technology, but another is having safe transportation accessible to everyone. People with a variety of disabilities would gain access to transportation, which opens doors for millions of people to better their lives, get jobs, or just go out and enjoy the world, and would also limit the amount of dangerous encounters as seen in some ride-sharing companies. But a major concern that a fully driverless vehicle is that computers do not have human cognition, so the reaction time of a driverless car could decrease. There have been a few fatal crashes involving semi-autonomous cars due to real-life situations that the operating system did not have time to process, such as in 2018, a Tesla crashed into a white semi-truck trailer because neither the autopilot nor the driver noticed the white side of the trailer because it blended in with the bright blue sky. Another aspect that could hinder autonomous car development is that sensors and cameras on self-driving cars tell them where they can and cannot drive, and with poorly marked roads and no markings or signs or on a gravel road, this could be a serious issue with the cars because they might not know where to go and they might run off the road or crash into other cars, where a human-driven car would not have that serious issue. But in conclusion, well, self-driving vehicles currently have limited capabilities and would be troublesome if both humans and non-humans driven cars would populate the road. The long-term good that autonomous vehicles can provide far outweighs the negatives. From reducing the impaired driving accidents and deaths to lowering carbon emissions, autonomous vehicles should be the way of the future. Thank you.